Bears. It is Thursday, so I'm on, and it is episode 338 today. We're going to have Bearapalegic on today. So, Nat Pat, you are the first in. Congratulations. As usual, you win absolutely nothing except for my gratitude, but it's good to have you in. Bearapalegic second. Look at you, Keen Steve, straight in there. I shall send you an invite now, sir. Give me 1 second. Andrew J, good day to you. Okay, invite sent.
Good. Freaking phone works. What's up, man? Maybe I should hold it. How you doing, bro?
I can hear you, I just can't see you. Close your, I could see you originally, and then you disappear. Close your thing, and I'll send another invite.
Okay. Can you see me now?
Nope. Give us 1 second. You're not on the list. One second, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I've sent an invite out to you. I can see you now.
What's up?
What a wonderful hat.
Yeah, that's shenanigans, man. She's as good as I hate to say it, she's as good as RMC. I mean, and she's hilarious. Her husband's I think he's Night Shift Bear.
Right.
I think. But RMC, she's good too. I mean, this is my other hat she made. But yeah, this one's a little thinner.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculously big. It's hilarious.
What have you been up to?
Oh, just working. She did too much stuff today. I feel like I got hit by, I don't know, a couple baseball bats is what I feel like. I decided to dig out this big hole where all this, where we grew a little bit of food this year, like a squash plant and some other stuff, but it had a bunch of like rocks and stuff in it. So we just, one of my buddies' girlfriends came over and helped me. She pulled out some roots and stuff, and I was sitting there like digging and swinging the axe and like I don't know. I better grow some good stuff in there. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, you need a bucket on the front of your chair. That's going to be an invention.
Dude, I could have an auger.
Yeah, you need
a bucket and a backhoe.
Exactly. It's an invention. Funny. Stop the coffee immediately and go and make that.
Oh gosh. Gunny's here. What's up, Gunny? I see. Hi, King. I'm gonna try not to pay attention to the chat though. You know, I didn't know Gunny Bear was black. I can't even believe I let him in my live streams, man. I didn't know he was black, and he's Canadian.
He's the original black, I think. I'm sure he was around before Bowler.
Dude, I was like, I can't believe I let you in my live stream. And doesn't I got shot by a black guy?
I've heard, yeah.
Nah, dude, Gunny's funny as shit. I actually got shot by a nigger, but I have a lot of good black friends. Huh?
Maybe that's why Gunny uses that name. He was the one who gunned you down.
Yeah, Gunny's. It was. Oh my gosh, somebody was talking about it being like. I don't know what said it was Bowler's father. I was just like laughing, like, are you kidding me? Bowler, I don't think Bowler's dad was anywhere near Baltimore in 1993.
So was
Where
it
was your
just
dad,
one,
Bowler?
was it just one shot then? Or was it like
He
a
shot twice. He shot twice, and one it was a 32, man, a 32, a little piece of crap gun. Like, why couldn't he just use a 357 and put me out of my?
miserable?
He had to use a little bitch gun. Whatever. I mean, Owen jokes, but like, I don't know, like. I don't think I'd be with Cat now if I wouldn't have got shot, and I'd probably be dead from riding my motorcycle. From riding my motorcycle way too fast. That's what I used to do. I used to ride my motorcycle way too fast. I don't ride it like you see guys like on the Beltway today. They weave in and out like really stupid. Like that's why they usually end up wrecking. But I used to weave in and out of traffic, but I would be far in front of them,
Yeah.
I wouldn't cut people. Actually, that's not completely true. I would cut people off once in a while if they were like being assholes. But
did you cut up a black guy in Baltimore? Is that where it came from? Just a road rage incident?
Dude, what's crazy is like I got shot and I didn't have to pay like $1,600 in tickets. Like I was just like, look, I'm not paying these tickets. And they're like, tell people I got shot so I didn't have to pay $1,600 for the tickets. Because like about maybe 2 months before I got shot, I got like 7 tickets.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if I've already told this story, but
no, it's still good because there's new people all the time. So.
Two undercover narcotics officers see me weaving in and out, like going around traffic because it's kind of congested. I'm not speeding. I'm just going. Everybody else is doing 30, and I'm just sort of going through. And these 2 undercover like narcotics guys are just get furious and start chasing me. And I didn't know. They didn't have a siren. They didn't have a light.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, but they followed me for like 12 miles. They followed me for like 7 miles down 695 and then onto 395 and then down onto Martin Luther King Boulevard in the city. And they finally caught up to me, like some city cops they had called ahead and caught up to me. And dude, there's like had to be 15 city cops, had to be like 6 county cops that heard my name on the radio. I was just like, oh god, it looked like OJ just shot somebody. There's that many people, and yeah, like these guys were like yelling at me, like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" I'm like, dude, I didn't know you're behind me. You didn't have a siren. And I was way ahead of them because I'm a bike. Yeah. I'm a bike. I like lost. They act like I lost them. I wasn't trying to lose them. I got it. They gave me 7 tickets. One for not. They can't even give it. Not obeying an emergency vehicle, which is not true because I never saw them.
Because it was undercover.
Right. Following too closely, riding on the shoulder, improper lane change, reckless driving, negligent driving, maybe doubling the speed limit and some other freaking nonsense. Dude, this guy was like, I'm gonna write tickets until my hands tired. And you know what? It was illegal as shit because the guy who wrote me the tickets weren't even the guys that saw it. Like cops do that crap all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy who freaking uses the radar gun is supposed to be the guy giving you the ticket. And most of the times what they'll do is they'll sign, because I know cops, they'll sign the ticket, so that when the guy up ahead who pulls you over, the guy who did the gun, his name's on it. But that's illegal as shit because the guy who's giving you a ticket isn't the guy who's like, yeah. if they actually were honest, you'd get off like all the time. Like, and I knew about all that stuff. You know,
But
I
you
used
got
to
away
go
with
to,
it.
I used to go to court for speeding tickets all the time. And you know, what I
That's the
do,
good thing over there. In America, you can just kind of go to court and it gets, you can have your day in court and whatever. I got done for speeding.
yeah, but the back in the day, the smart, well, I think you can probably still do it today. The smart thing to do was to postpone it, right? Right in the money, or you couldn't, if you most of the time it sucked because if you had to put up the money that the ticket was, you get another court date, then they just give it back to you. So I would do that, not in that particular time, but I would do that, and then because they set up the cops court dates, so they come for like all the tickets they gave that day or that month. So they come in for like 30 cases. Well, if you postpone it, they got to come all the way down to the courthouse just for yours, and most of the time they wouldn't show up. So that was one way of doing it. Or most judges were cool. They would just be like, "Look, I want to have a guilty. Just say you're guilty, and I'll give no points, and you pay the court cost or something." Yeah. I mean, dude, I've seen a judge just let the whole place just pay the court costs and not get any points. And he told everybody at the beginning, and this one guy, I remember one guy said, "Nah, I didn't do it. I didn't do it." And he said, "You heard me at the beginning of the court, right, sir?" He goes, "No, but I didn't do it." This guy was serious about it. He was like, sure he didn't do it, but he ended up getting the points and oh man, he ended up paying like freaking $300 when he could have just paid court costs. Like, I don't know, man. Judges, that it's all a scam. Like speeding tickets and stuff. But I mean,
it's a
thing is, don't speed. Don't speed. You want to be a stuntman, get a job as a stuntman.
Thing is, though, the speed limits are so ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? No one drives at 55 or 60 or 70. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't need to. The speed limits were set years ago when cars were different, brakes were different, everything was different, and it was deemed safe at the time. Now, you can stop at half the distance, and the speed limits are still set as if we're all driving around in like Model Ts.
Yeah, true. I mean, really, technically, there's probably I guess crash. Cars are safer. I guess they got crumple zones and stuff, but there's an argument to be made that cars were a lot bigger back then, probably safer if you hit certain things, but most of them didn't even have shoulder belts. I mean, when I was little, they only had the lap belts. So many people a lot of people got paralyzed from those. You wearing a lap belt and you hit something really hard, you'll just snap your back at the point of the seatbelt, and then you're screwed.
So what's happened with this hacking thing then? Because you got hacked, didn't you? What were you looking at?
I think it was my fault. It was my fault, man. I had a message from my stepson. Just got a new phone, and I just thought he was having a hard time getting into his IG account. Like early in the morning, I need help getting into my IG account. Send me the link. And I'm just like, click, here you go. I hacked myself, basically. Just let some idiot in.
Your ID, though, or was it a password for other things? Was it just your ID?
Right. It's I guess I sent them a password reset. So when I went to try to get into Bearapalegic 2, it was he probably guessed my password for the other one too or something. I don't know. So yeah. I mean, dude, everybody's been trolling whoever the hell that is. I mean, he's got the same person's got my stepson's Dylan's IG account, like under Mr. Dickles. Mr. Dickles. I'm like, you think you think everybody thinks you're Mr. Dickles, but you're Victoria Michelin. She's the real deal. All this shit about like Bitcoin and shit. I'm just like, who would give anybody, even if you saw it on my page, like even if I was like, well, I don't know, maybe if I told you, still though, who's gonna put up $1,000 and be like, I'll give you back 13? Well, it was 8,000 the first day. And like a couple of days later, they said,
a unbelievable thing, though, was it? It was like, give us £1,000 today, and in a week you'll have 8,000.
No, it was 500. Give us 500, and in 2 hours I'll have 8,000. That's what she claims. I put up $500 and got 8,000 in 2 hours. So then, like 3 days later, it was put up 1,000, and I put up 1,000 and got 13 grand in 2 hours. Like it doesn't make any sense, because to make $2,000 on Bitcoin in a couple hours, you'd have to buy $500,000 worth of it, you know?
And if you did, you wouldn't then go and spread the word on Instagram. Do you mean you'd go and do it again and go buy a house in Malibu? And...
yeah, I don't even know. I mean, it's, I still don't even understand. I understand mining, how to mine, but I don't understand about all these other coins that they came out with afterwards. Like, I mean, there's millions of them, and they're all just, you'd be surprised how many other coins are worth $5,000 a coin, or you know, in the thousands. Shit,
they're not
Ethereum.
I don't see I don't understand why people invest. I get the temptation, but
I mean, yeah, dude,
on your head to press that button and commit your money to it.
I just delivered coffee to they just moved to Sandpoint. The guy, AKA Alaska Bear, AKA Alaska Bear, she married a guy who was a computer software guy, and he got into Bitcoin when it was like 10, and you know, made a bunch of money, and he's still making money on his software company. And he dude, like, they just sold their house down like 2 miles from where I live, and they're moving to Sandpoint. I mean, the 20-acre farm, it's got all the solar power on it.
But that's the thing. I think if you were just kind of right place, right time, you've got in there early, and it's worked out. Because do you mean all the people who are buying coins on these new ones? Very few of them are going to be around in a year. Do you mean? So
I don't know, but I can't see it. Just, I don't know. You know what? Never say never, but it doesn't make any damn sense.
No.
That I mean, Dogecoin, whatever. I mean, you might luck out on something, but I don't see how it's worth anything. I was talking to Trainer Bear like about the damn Budweiser NFT. He had to go on some other site to buy this little coin just to get in a club to buy the Budweiser NFT for $1,000. I don't know how many of them they sold, but I remember him saying, well, it's already worth $1,300. I'm like, but what are you going to do with your little picture of a Budweiser? Like, well, if you're in the metaverse and you're walking around and you have a but I mean, you can't drink it. You know, I'm just like, it's so stupid. It's just like,
no, it's like buying something. You know, when you're playing a game on, you know, it's like buying coins for that or something.
I mean, if you're playing a game, at least like if you're playing Golf Clash and you buy special balls, you can win, or you can hit the ball farther, or you're getting something. I don't understand them. I guess I look cool with my avatar. Dude, it blows my mind. Like, I don't know, man. It's so ridiculous. And I know everybody remembers the day I said something about Dogecoin in the chat, and Owen like freaking like, you're making money on people's misery and blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, I had a buddy just wanted me to pay him in Dogecoin. I happened to buy it, and it took like 7 days for it to clear because I bought it on like a Friday.
Right.
So 5 business days or something. I bought it at like 24 cents, and by the time it cleared, it was like 56 cents, and like $450 it turned into like 1,000, 1,100 or something, and then I paid him money and then had the rest. But then like put it in some other thing and it like ended up going down. So at least I paid my buddy. That's all that matters. I don't get. I mean, you could become a millionaire, but you'd have to pick the right one of these ones that's just coming out that's worth a penny that goes to $100. You know, I mean that's the only way, and you'd have to have $5,000 in it to do it. I mean, very rarely you're going to be able to put $1 in something and turn it into $1 million. That's just like not going to happen. I mean, even if you got into what Bitcoin at $100 with $100, you know, and rode it all the way up to 60 grand, you know, 10 times your money, that's $1,000 is 1,000, and 60 times that. Well, that is 60 grand. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, so you could walk into a show. You could roll into a shop tomorrow and buy a scratch card and win $1 million. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever. But 99.99999 don't. Do you know what I mean? So it's just that. You may as well just, you know what I mean? I think you can.
Awful.
But I think they're better odds than Bitcoin. Do you know what I mean? At least you kind of. Well, you're still not in control of it, but you kind of.
Well, right. Well, at least you sort of know the odds and that you can win something, I guess. Did you hear I was into I'm breaking the child labor laws. I'm hiring kids now. This is Camera Bear's son's drawing of my logo.
So is that going on all your coffee now?
So it's a sticker now. I made it into a sticker. He earned a BB gun, and I tried to send a BB gun to Camera Bear's house in Rhode Island, and Amazon wouldn't let me send a BB gun. I'm like, are you kidding me?
What?
Yeah. I'm like, dude, it's a BB gun. It's not even one of those nice, like, I've got one of those nice Gammo pellet rifles. You know, you break it in half and you pump it.
Right.
And, like, you're supposed to be able to, like, take down a boar, you know. You could shoot a boar in the damn skull with one of them. But it was just like a Daisy. Maybe it was a Crossman, you know, whatever, the ones we had when we were kids.
But it was on
Amazon. So Amazon would not deliver a BB.
Would they send it to you?
Well, probably, and I could send it. But then I said, you know, by the time I do that and then mail it, like, I don't want to get damaged, you know. Yeah. So Camera Bear's like, send me some. Well, I don't know. Rebel Joe's in here. I don't want to hurt Rebel Joe's feelings. So I just sent Camera Bear some coffee, and then he'll get the BB gun, which is better for me because I spent less money, you know, on the coffee. But I hooked him up, man. I like gave him like something that's about $80 worth of coffee. So yeah, I gave him more than, you know.
So how did the coffee start? I mean, is it something you've always been into, or is it just like?
I started roasting coffee about probably been about 6-7 years. I was roasting on these little hobby roasters. They're called a Baymore.
Mm-hmm.
So actually still got it around here somewhere, but it's a little rotisserie looking thing with a basket in it. I sent Trainer some coffee, and he made an IG video about it, which a lot of people saw.
Mm.
And then I sent Bible reading bear coffee. Eventually, DK, my manager, she's in the chat somewhere. DNK Bear. And let me see some of the first people. Truth Movement Bear. Gosh, people are gonna be mad at me. I don't. Iron Man was probably one of the first people to get coffee. Trying to think everybody else. Nick Wolf, my artist guy. Shit, a lot of people got coffee. Like I wasn't even really. Technically, I wasn't really even selling it. I remember I sent out cookies. It was like during Christmas.
Mm.
Oh, I don't even have the. Yeah, all I had was this. And now, no, when I sent Trainer Bear the one, it wasn't any. I didn't have a label. I didn't even have this label.
Right.
And I just put. I sent it to him in a gallon Ziploc, and just put Bearapalegic a Jesus breakfast plan. And he did this video, and he said he took out this Costco coffee, San Francisco blend or something like that. And he smelled it, and he was like, he said it smelled like chemicals and burnt chemicals. And then he smelled my coffee. It's like, I think he said something like, I should go back and watch it. He said it smelled like chocolatey, yummy something. But it was pretty hilarious. I don't know what possessed me because I've been working like a nut ever since, which is
Do you still enjoy it though?
yeah. I'm a little burnt out. I'm a little burnt out because I do it all by myself.
Mm.
And you know, sometimes it's kind of slow, so it's okay. But lately, I just caught up on orders barely, but barely. Anyway, yeah, like it blew up pretty quick.
Mm.
I mean, and if it wasn't for the Bears, like I would probably be dead. I think from roasting coffee, and so I bought a second Baymore, a second little roast, thinking I could keep up with it, and I was up for like. There's some IG videos on my one of me like after I was up like just like 16 hours, just like dehydrated and just mumbling nonsense with like chaff stuck to my freaking face. Just like talking about how they're going to find me dead in front of my roasters. So then, I don't know who it was. It was like, I don't know who said you should just do a damn fundraiser, you know?
Mm.
And everybody was amazing, you know? Shit. $3,500. Like, it didn't take that long either. Like, that's a lot of money. I mean, to me, it's a lot of money. Might not be a lot of money to some people. It's a lot of money to me.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, you know, I mean, a lot of people, Iron Man gave a lot, Trainer gave a lot. A lot of people, I could name just tons of people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Some gave 500, some gave just $20.
Yeah.
You know, but it came in pretty freaking quick, you know.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, I was just like, hey, no, I'm not going to get, you know, I'm just not going to, because the roasters are like $4,000. I mean, the thing is, I don't know. If I did it all over, I definitely wouldn't use PayPal. And if I did, I would use friends and family because I didn't know they're going to take 3.5% of everything, you know? Think about that. 35, you know, 350 for every, no, I'm sorry. Well, 35 for every, still, it's not a lot, but what that would have been, 100 and some, $35 for every grand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's money just got thrown away, but yeah. I mean, it saved my ass because I wouldn't have been able to handle all the orders, you know? I mean,
do you have to, like, can you just let it begin and then go and do something else, or do you have to keep monitoring it?
yeah, I mean, I'm right next to it though, because things, no matter, even if you weigh it perfect and, you know, set it on a certain setting, like just sometimes, you know, it'll, you know, you could get to that point where it'll just get burnt, you know, if you're not watching it. But, you know, I can get it pretty close where I can just sit here and fill orders while it's going, you know, but I don't know. It's rough. I mean, I got a roaster here and at my girls in Washington, you know. Right. So I got to go back and forth. But shit, Iron Man helped me freaking buy the one back here. Lent me money. You know, no interest. I was thinking, like, you know, how cool would that be if you, like, you know, if your daddy was a billionaire, or even if you had $30 million, you know, give bears like ridiculously like 0.05% loans or something that's like totally to where it's some kind of a small business, but it's, you know, I mean, obviously the best thing would be 0%, but you know, when there's so many people getting loans for 5 or home equity loans, you know, 4, 5, 6, whatever, there's people that do refis, you know, just to pay off their student debts and stuff. Like,
yeah, that's the problem is if you say, so if you're starting a business, so say, I don't know, say you're opening a restaurant, and so you need loans for the, you know, the building itself or whatever for your down payments, then all your equipment, then you decorating, then all your stock, then whatever. The interest alone is probably what's closing half these restaurants, because in the first year, 2 years or whatever, they're not making a profit anyway, but they've still got to pay the interest month in, month out. So if you lend people with no interest, they would pay it back, but they're not. It's like they're not interested whether you pay it back or not. They just want your business. They want you to close. You know what I mean? They want you to suffer rather than.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Like, how cool would that be to? I don't know. That's kind of, you know, like, I don't know. You hear about Muslims? They don't want to do the usury thing. Like the Muslims give like I think it's like a Sharia law to do low, like super low. I don't know what the law is, like Sharia law. You know, I mean, 1%, like that's, and if you did it to where it's actually 1%, not like a home equity loan where you go, oh, it's at 4%, it's going to be great. And like, you're like, oh, well, I'll get $100,000 home and I'll pay $4,000 on it. That's what I thought as a kid. But people get a $200,000 home, and after 30 years, they've paid $400,000. And I'm like, how is that 4%? Like, why don't they advertise it as over 30 years, you're going to pay 100% interest?
And that 4% isn't fixed anyway after the first few years, so it'll still go up. And at that, when you're borrowing 200 grand or whatever, 0.3% adds up. Do you know what I mean? It adds up over each month.
Yeah, that's why people, they say do a extra house payment every year, or even throw on an extra 100 every month. The thing is, like, I don't know, people aren't smart about their loans. Like, once you get like 15 years paid off, it's probably, and let's say rates go down, like you could literally like my buddy. I told him, he was like, he signed it like 25 years ago. He's maybe 20 years ago. He signed a home equity at 6%, and it was down to 4. And I'm like, dude, you need to refi. Like the 2% is a big deal. Like you literally could probably cut yourself down to a 15-year loan right now and still probably take out like $5,000 and have the same house payment or something, you know? Or like people don't understand what, you know, what that adds up to.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to really, and I don't understand it all. I don't even understand what the hell. Maybe we need a grabbler to come on here. And like I don't understand how 4% turns. I mean, I guess it's monthly. It's not called
yeah, well, that's when you get into
amortized. It's not amortized. It's like a buy shit. My sister DK, she would know what the hell. She could explain it. I'm too stupid. Let's not talk about interest. I hate it. Hey, Mr. Blues here. Let me look through the chat here. Who's talking shit about me in here? Copper's in here. Hey, Copper. Oh, yeah, I hear there might be something really awesome at P5O's house. I'm not sure. Oh, Iron Man's here. Damn it. You freaking said, you heard me say good things about you? Shit. Finksburg's in here. He doesn't even like me, and he came.
Have you been?
I gotta go up and visit.
We've been to many bear meets, so.
Oh, you know what? I was kind of like bent that like I've been to a few. Like our little one, it should have made the magazine. We had one at my girl's house. I think it was like June 20th or something, 2 summers ago. And it was so hot. It was 110 degrees. And I remember Garrett saying, nobody's going to show up. And I said, Garrett, you don't know freaking bears. Like nobody, trust me, they're going to show up. Mm-hmm. So the only one who didn't show up was June Bear. She was like 8 months pregnant or something.
Sure.
So understandable. So DK, her husband, on Alaska Bear, his wife, on Alaska Mama Bear, High King, and his wife Wax Bear, and Haiku Bear. Haiku Bear is never on IG, but Haiku is freaking cool as shit. Like, he's an amazing bear. So we were all there. And it was just a little bear meetup, but it was freaking badass. Like we had the freaking sprinklers going in the fan, like the hose going in the fan. And then I went in and roasted coffee at like this 130-degree like greenhouse. I was roasting coffee like an idiot. But it would have been funny to get that. And I mean, it was a little one, but still, I mean, it was 110 degrees. It was just kind of epic. But and there was the apple juicing one where in Southern Oregon where Copper was there and Barber Bear, Haiku. I think not sure Secret Weapon made it there, but there was a lot of bears down there. And I know I'm missing like a shitload of names. Well, I was wondering why that one didn't make it. That was pretty big. But at least the one in the one in Battleground made it. Bears Giving. It was on my birthday. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what day is it? And they're like, the 28th. I'm like, of November? Are you kidding me? My birthday? Dude, it was crazy. Like DK had her husband bring the like sound system, like he's a like does the whole DJ thing for like weddings and stuff. Tashi put it together and like, dude, there was a lot of people there. I literally made coffee for like 7 hours straight.
Are you going to Crush Fest and stuff this year or?
Pennsylvania?
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah, I just made, dude. I just went out and saw a rhino a little while back, and I told him I was gonna make it, so I just made my flight for April. No, I'm sorry, March 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I could get back in time to go out there, and I don't have enough time to roast a bunch of coffee, so you know what I think I'm gonna do? I was talking to DK before the show started. I think I might take my roaster with me and actually roast coffee.
That was pretty cool.
That way I don't have to work like a dog for, I don't know.
Is it portable?
Cool. Well, no, I can't carry it. It's pretty freaking heavy, but I can put it in my van, you know, and you know, it'll be all right. And it runs on, you know, the main heat source is propane, so.
No, it'd be pretty cool. People to see as well.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Mm.
Yeah, be all right, man. Can't believe I'm caught up on orders. What?
What else have you got coming up this year then?
The one out west, probably going to do that. I don't know if Copper wants me to even say anything. I think there's probably going to be one around the 30th, possibly in April. Tosh T and Copper and B50 are like sort of working it all out, but if it goes, it's going to be really nice. Like B5, I've been to B5's house and she's in Mossy Rock, and she's got this huge barn. It's got a cement floor,
right,
that she poured just for me, so I don't get muddy. No, she already had it, but she's got a beautiful farm. Like, if I could get down to this little pond, she's got like bass and crappie in it. Like the day I was over there visiting her, like this deer like walked right up the hill, and like she says she's eating elk all the time. It's a beautiful, like, if it didn't rain so much in Washington, like the spring and the summer in Washington State, like if I was rich enough to, you know, like travel, I would spend, you know, spring and summer up there. Right. And then I would go to like southern Utah in the winter, you know.
It seems to have similar to England, Washington. It seems to have like similar cycles to England. Whereas it's kind of...
Is there a real rainy? It's really rainy for 6 months?
It's more like 10 months, really, rain. I mean, it's not every day, but it's probably like average 3 or 4 days a week it'll be raining.
Just pissing, not pouring.
Both, really. Do you mean
it can pour too, but like Washington, it'll just be like pissing and pouring. Like, I call it Mossington State, dude. There's moss everywhere. Like, but then you can go, dude. What's crazy is when I went to Lady Q's, when you look up Squim, like, I don't know. I think you go like 10 miles away, and the rainfall is like 100 times higher. Like for the whole state, you know, like Seattle, like it's all rain, right? Not east over near like Spokane. That's different. That's like Idaho weather. But for some reason, like right near Squim where she's at, it's like very little rain in this one little area. And I'm like, so odd. It's not a very big spot. Yeah, it's right near the Sound. It's right near the Sound.
Yeah, up north where I am, there's a lot. it's kind of known for it being like sort of wet and rainy and damp and stuff like that. Whereas down south, they do get a lot better weather. And you're talking like 200 miles. I mean, it's not a big difference, but the weather between the the north and south, it changes so much.
It's all
So it's like
about
now
jet stream.
we've got like a weather warning here. It's like a red alert. Like they've got it on the news, like a hazardous like warning of death and all this nonsense. But we had the gales here yesterday, and then they're having them down south tomorrow. So even though it's only a small thing, the weather's completely different, like north to south.
Yeah, the jet stream really, like, dude, when you look at the jet stream, like on the spherical model, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And when you do it on the AE flat Earth map, it's just like a perfect circle, dude. It's like super retarded that anybody who looks into it, like really looks into it and goes and looks at like just water, lighthouses, mountains, anything with like you could just use your phone. You don't even have to have a camera. Yeah, like I don't know, unless you're just going to be like, I'm deferring to the smarter scientists. They know, like anybody who looks into it, if they still think.
It doesn't take a lot of looking into either. Do you mean it's 8 inches per mile square? That's it. That's you know what I mean? You can easily kind of put that to the test, really, in real world things, and you can say, right, I shouldn't be able to see that, but I can. And then, why are there no pictures of Australia upside down? Why are there, do you mean just simple things
Dude,
like that?
like, ask somebody that, where you're like, how come the ISS doesn't take a picture of of a boat, like, going down the side of the ball? Like, dude, it's freaking so dumb. Like, I was a CAD drafter. Like, if you draw the ball on a freaking, on AutoCAD, and then you draw the ISS, like how far it is off the surface, it's like having a basketball and then having like a little, like an M&M, like an inch off the basketball. Like, and they're showing curves, they're showing the globe, they're showing like they are seeing the curve. Like, there's no way they could from their height. You're just seeing land. There's no way they could tell anything.
But that's it. They'll show the curve over there, but they can't. There's never a plane. Do you mean they're above? Like, they'll be above America or whatever. So how many planes are in the sky at any one time? The ISS should be taking top down pictures. When you zoom in, there should be a million planes in the sky. There's never one. Do you mean there's like the
satellite and everything?
Exactly.
Dude, like 5 years ago, if you Googled flat Earth, you could actually get flat Earth stuff. But now, if you Google it, there's 1,000 videos of why the Earth isn't flat or why it's a ball. Like,
they always do that, though, don't they?
Yeah, it's kind of like, the people that say, flat Earth is a freaking psyop. I'm like, no, it's not. It's flat. I mean, the freaking water's flat. Like, all right, if you believe most of our area is water, and it's a pond, then it's flat. Besides mountains and stuff, like, it's simple. It's a flat freaking pond.
They've changed, because everyone was saying it's sea level, and then they changed level to mean curved. So that's the official thing now. They said, no, what level means curved. That's what level means.
Right, no, they'll just be like, if you just measure it for 100 feet, that's level, and then I'm like, oh, soccer ball Earth. Soccer ball Earth? They're like, okay, well, when you see I don't know, ask the Navy. Ask any guy who's been in the Navy about those pencil freaking lasers. They call them pencil beam lasers. It's a laser as wide as a freaking, as a damn pencil. And they put it on the target. So I'm not talking about a guy like you see in the movies, lays the target for the freaking blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about them, just like you with a red dot, or with your scope. Now you're putting it on the target 70 miles away. I don't even care. Even if the battleship is up, even if they're up 100 feet, 70 miles away, that's 70 times 8 times 8. So 64 inches times 70, then divided by 12. I'm terrible. I can't really tell you what that is, but it's a lot. Like at 30 miles, it's like 180 feet, At 30 miles, it's 180 feet. So there's no way you could put that laser on a target and hit it. And then we talk about spin, like nobody's leading targets. Can you imagine how much something would move if you freaking were shooting artillery at something? Like, boom.
None of it makes any sense. Dude, they're not even trying with it. Do you mean they'll make such ridiculous claims?
Dude,
they'll just accept it.
Dude, it's all gravity or refraction. And when you ask people about and it's a dome. It's a dome. I'm telling you, it's a freaking dome, or it's some kind of barrier. It's a barrier that you can't get through. That's why we're breathing pressurized air. There's no way that they're bouncing signals off the ionosphere. We're bouncing it off of air. It's nonsense,
I've got a friend of mine. He's quite an intelligent lad, but he's always been into space, and he wanted to be an astronaut when he was growing up and all this.
Yeah.
We were talking about it, and he's saying about gravity and stuff. So I said, okay, law of physics, because gravity's a theory, so we have to go with proven laws of physics. So centrifugal force, when you spin something, it goes to the outside. So you have a bowl with a ball in it, or whatever, and you spin it, it goes to the outside. That's what the centrifugal force. So how can you have both? You can't have centrifugal force and gravity, because gravity pulls everything in, centrifugal force pushes everything out. But centrifugal force is a fact. Do you mean it's a scientific, provable fact?
Well, they actually call it centripetal. If you look up centrifugal, at least I'm sorry, I'm quoting Bill Nye. As a child, I saw Bill Nye say centrifugal is not even a word. Centripetal is a word. Look into it. Maybe I'm wrong, but the funny thing is you go around a turn in a car, you get thrown out. And on a bike, you see a wet tennis ball thrown, the water's flying off it. A merry-go-round, whatever. So, but they go, but when the ball gets really big, 20,000 miles wide, well, then the water, that flies off, that does an about face and gets sucked into the middle, all like this. I'm like, what? Because it got big? It's freaking it's the dumbest shit you could, because it got big.
Well, like I say, I was sort of telling him, and we had sort of a disagreement about it, but he's one of them people who'll send you links, after you've had the discussion. He'll send you 15 links to debunking pages. So he just sent me a link to Wikipedia, and it's it discusses it there. And to explain it, honestly, you can check out. To explain it, it's got 4 kind of full pages worth of complete nonsense. That doesn't make any sense at all. And then at the end of it, it's all sciencey words, to confuse you, and so you'll just stop reading and stuff. But yeah, it's complete nonsense.
Yeah, it's
when did you kind of? Was it?
That was I've been flatty about 5 years, maybe. My brother was into it way before that, and I told him he was a retard. I'm like, you're a freaking retard. It's definitely a ball. And I told him, I said, how could Japan have freaking flown over and bombed Pearl Harbor if it's not a ball? This is what I just remember that stupid map in school where Japan's on the right and Hawaii's on the left. And I said, well, that's just, it curves around, right? So if it was flat, Japan would have to fly all the way over Europe, all the way over because I thought that was the flat map. I thought, well, they think that's flat. Well, until I saw the AE map, the one that actually makes sense and matches all the damn freaking flight map paths and stuff, and all the emergency landings and all that stuff. Like, and then I bought a camera, and I went and took pictures of Mount St. Helens, and I just wanted to prove him wrong. And I was just like, and I had to freaking tell him I was sorry. Like he's like 3-5 years ahead of everybody on all kinds of stuff. Yeah, he'll be like, my girlfriend will be like, did you hear about blah, blah, blah? My brother will be like, yeah, like 6 years ago. Yeah. Like my brother, like he was doing Organite and freaking Shillogy and like I don't know if you know what Organite is. People are getting into Oregon and Ormus, monoatomic gold, like all that. Like years ago, he was into that, and like I've learned to freaking not call him a freaking idiot anymore. I used to be like, that's some hippy dippy bullshit. That's some hippy dippy bullshit, But yeah, like he's so much crap today is just nonsense. I don't know. I don't even know how the hell we got so pathetic. How did we get to where all of our government is just a bunch of liars and like
that's the thing.
How are they dual citizens with Israel? How is Israel their freaking first priority? Just blows my mind, man. Grabblers, man.
I mean, like you said with Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor was nonsense. It's a nonsense story. Do you know what I mean? It was right. To me, the Americans did it. To sort of
they let them. They let them in.
So I mean, the government.
The movie. There's a movie about the movie Pearl Harbor. Like Dan Aykroyd pretty much tells them for like what, a week. They're coming. Yeah, FDR wanted to get into. That's what nobody understands. That lion. He wasn't even a freaking real cripple. He could stand. Making freaking cripples look bad. But yeah.
Yeah, so the governments have always been like that. Do you know what I mean? They probably were 500 years ago. I mean, when the monarchies were like in charge, before governments really over here, all the kings were like that. They were all corrupt. They were all kind of
it's always been grabblers. I mean, I think it got really bad after the Federal Reserve, definitely, because then you got money printing, and then your wealth slowly gets whittled away.
Gave them control and leverage over everybody. So now they can blackmail you. They can do whatever. If you don't do this, you'll lose your job. If you don't, all this nonsense. But I suppose it's if people play along with it, then there's consequences. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to separate yourself from it as much as you can.
So what do you think about the truckers and all these trucker stuff? I feel like there's some good people that want to do good things, but
totally.
I don't know. Like when people go, well, how would you do it? I go, I don't know. I think that's why like me and my brother argue all the time. I'm like, dude, you gotta quit just complaining about shit you can't fix. And I'll complain about shit I can't fix too. I'll be like, freaking grabblers, like, what the hell, man? Like, why do they gotta run everything? Why's it gotta suck? Like, why? I don't know. I mean,
to me, the truckers, I mean, we had it over here, start of 2000. So like from 2000 to about 2010, we had 3 trucker protests over here. And it was all about fuel prices. So basically what they were doing was they were blocking the oil refineries. They just completely stopped in front.
You think that was a real deal, or was that on the news?
Right. So this is the thing. So so they're blocking the oil refineries, and they were driving like at 10 mile an hour, 3 wide on all the motorways to just block everybody. Right. When it first started, everyone's cheering them on because because the fuel prices affect us as well. So great. Everyone's on the bridges as they go under, all cheering and waving and stuff. After a couple of days, when the fuel starts running out, everyone's like, "Oh, those truckers! Like, why do they have to protest? Why they ruined it? They have no fuel." Then the supply chain started to collapse. There's nothing in the shops because the truckers are all doing that, and no one's got any fuel. So it was the same kind of thing. Then it came out that it was the Farmers Union who were funding them. And the Farmers Union are tied very, very closely to the Conservative Party, which is like our Republican. And there was an election coming up. And they were basically saying, like, the government in power is no good. Look what they're doing to fuel. We'll have all these protests. And then, so it was done for the election. And they ran on that as their election thing. But this only came out later on. Then 4 or 5 years later, they did the same thing again, election year. So exactly the same thing again. And then 5 years after that election year, exactly the same things again. All of it proven since that it was funded by the Farmers Union. But there was genuine people who were just genuine truckers who were like, I'm paying too much for my fuel. I want to join this.
Right. Like, how the frick do you fix that though? Like, you guys don't have ethanol over there. You don't have that all scammy thing. You got good fuel, right?
They changed it this year. Last year, towards the end of last year, they changed the octane levels. So we were basically getting 99 octane fuel we were getting. And then they dropped it down.
Yeah, but any ethanol?
Well, the 95 is got ethanol. So they dropped that down. So that's normal fuel. Every car made from 2011 can run on it. Any cars before then, you have to buy the premium stuff, which is a fortune.
That
do you know what I mean? I buy the premium stuff because mine will only run on it. It won't run on.
Yeah, or you could just add octane. But I used to have when I had a fast car, I had a Mark 8. I had a Mark 8 with like a nice transmission, 393 rear. The style aluminum drive shaft, mass air intake, had all this cool shit on it. And I used to go to Sunoco when they had 104 octane. It was like $6 a gallon when gas was about $1.50.
Right.
And I could put like $40 worth of it in my car, and I could do a faster quarter with it.
No,
but that's not all that. Like, that's not all that, like, good fuel's about, though. It's not like, oh, I've got 180 octane, I'm going to blow you away. Like, it's not just the octane. That's something to do with it. I don't know everything about it. But I know, like, the purple racing fuel, that's just more explosive. It's, it's not like top fuel freaking dragster fuel, but it's, and that shit's like, that's just like nuclear freaking fuel, like top fuel drag stuff.
When you put additives and stuff in, they can burn the inside of your engine sometimes because it depends on how hot you're running your engine.
So when you end up tweaking your valves or doing something stupid. Same thing if you start running nitrous. Like, nitrous is that's just dumb. Like, you're better off just getting a chill supercharger. And I never understood superchargers because they were belt driven, like in freaking Road Warrior, right? Like, you see it come on, right? Yeah. So I'm like, but it's running off of the motor. So how is that? Like, I understand it's turning the things and it's forcing fuel in, but turbo always made more sense to me because, all right, that's just going out the back. That's spinning the turbine, forcing more air, fuel down. But why does superchargers work? Like, you're taking power from the engine to make more power. Doesn't it seem like
No, I get what
Like
you're saying. Yeah. No, I mean a lot of it's about cooling it as well, though. So it's cooling the air down when it's bringing it in. So it's not only sort of concentrating the air together, but it's also cooling it, which will give it a better explosion when it goes in the. You know what I mean?
that's
It's
true
cooling
too, because everybody at the quarter mile track, they used to sell ice, and everybody ice down their motors.
Yeah.
You
But
know, I remember that.
the car is better in the summer. Do you mean
Oil coolers? Yeah.
So
Like
it's not.
right when you start up, like right when you start your car up in the morning, you fly down the street. It's just crazy fast, you know.
Mhm.
Well, that's why I sell those snorkels. Those little snorkels that suck the air from the low part near the front of the car. And
You can have to. People don't. They don't always know like the best way. I mean, I don't know the best way to do it, but they make a lot of mistakes where they'll put a load of snorkels on or whatever, so they'll have a load of air coming in, but they haven't sorted out how they're going to get it out the back.
no, you can't. Like some people, it just you put the cool air intake or something, whatever, or like idiots will put a chip in. They'll put a chip. You know, they'll be like, "Oh, I got a chip, stage 3 chip." But you can't do any of that without getting the mass air intake, bigger fuel filters to go with the, you know, because the chip's gonna change your freaking timing a little bit. It's gonna dump more fuel in. And if you do all that, you know, your stock tranny probably isn't cool. That's why I went like Ford. You know what? My transmission was only like 2,300. This is back in like 2000. No, it was like 2012 or something. But no, maybe no, because I had a 1998. Yeah, 1998 Mark 8. So yeah, but it was a lot of money for back then. But I remember my freaking exhaust was $1,000 for a badass full exhaust.
That's the problem with new cars, really. You can't really do much to them. I mean, you can, but it'll cost you a fortune. But I mean, even then, you don't. It's not like you can just modify them and sort of, you know what I mean? Just sort of have a go and take that bit off and put that bit on, because everything's all kind of computer driven and stuff. So you've got to be very, very careful what you take off and what, you know what I mean? So we can't really do much with a new car. So that whole scene's kind of died, really.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I still like going fast. I miss rear-wheel drive cars. I love rear-wheel drive cars. Nothing's funner than fishtailing in the snow, you know? Like front-wheel drive sucks, you know? Like if I had a lot of money, I would buy I don't know. I'd buy something with rear-wheel drive again. Shit, if I had the money, I'd get a damn van with rear-wheel drive. Just get a big-ass, like, Chevy van or something, you know?
When you get one, get a van?
You can get a van, but the thing is they're expensive. They're expensive, you know?
Yeah,
I could get an older one. It would be cool to get, everybody wants, like, I want like a pre-computer thing, you know, so like you're good for all the EMP crap, you know, all that stuff. Something with points, like, you know, like
a 76.
Shit, my mom's 1985. No, shit, my mom's 1978 Capri. Maybe it wasn't 85. Shit, 85. Caprice Classic, 1985 Caprice Classic. I'm almost sure that had a little CPU, had a computer. Little module in there for the 305. So you'd have to get something with points and coils, right?
Yeah, as soon as they did EFI or fuel injection.
Yeah.
On computers.
Yeah, you need you need carburetor points, right? And shit, I don't even know if an EMP burst. Does it knock out a battery? It doesn't knock out your battery, does it?
What's that?
Like for starting the car? An EMP burst? People always talk about those things.
I
Like
suppose.
it's all about nukes too. Like, oh, a nuclear bomb hits, that's it. Everything's fried. But now they're fake. So like, do you even need? I mean, I hear about EMP burst stuff.
That's
They
been
say
going
China's
on.
got them. China's got a bomb. They'll do it, and then they'll just shut down the grid. Gosh, man, we've been getting scared.
From late 90s, the power thing. That's what like Maximum Overdrive was about and stuff, and that's years old, isn't it? Do you mean that was
my
something?
God, Maximum Overdrive, the
That's what it was, wasn't it? It was
the one Mack truck. Was that Oh my gosh, wasn't that freaking Emilio Estevez or something? That was a Stephen King movie, wasn't it?
Good movie. I mean,
I wasn't really into I wasn't really into like the Friday the 13th type stuff. Like that's why you and I talk about like Hooper. I watched Smokey and the Bandit and Hooper, Convoy. I was just talking to DK about watching my dad got HBO and I watched Casey's Shadow like 35 times and he got rid of HBO. It's a Walter Matthau movie about horses. But yeah, you and I are always talking about A-Team and shit. We were supposed to talk about how the A-Team had morality.
They all did though. All them shows did. Dukes of Hazzard, A-Team. Yeah. I mean, they were all.
DK and I were talking about how John Snyder was talking about when they got Dukes of Hazzard got canceled because of the stupid, because they were white supremacists with their rebel flag.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that was dude. Roscoe P. Coltrane and Boss Hogg. Boss Hogg was a grabbler.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that was the whole point of it.
Dude, didn't Uncle Jesse smoke stuff for his did Uncle Jesse did he smoke pot or was he a
no,
but he did moonshine, right?
He did moonshine. He was against pot,
right? Dude, what else did you watch? Knight Rider wasn't that cool. I didn't really like Knight Rider.
No, I didn't. I used to watch it, but I wasn't really bothered about it.
Nah. Yeah,
I like
Airwolf?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to like Airwolf.
Dude, no, I used to watch.
Did you ever watch
Galactica? Battlestar Galactica. What?
Did you ever watch something called Highwayman? They did one season of it, and it was Sam Jones.
Was that an Australia one?
No, it had an Australian in it, but it was It had Flash Gordon.
Nah, there was other one. There was another one that the freaking guy that played Gattakus on the Spartacus.
Right.
Gattakus, he's an Australian guy. I forget his name. But he played something in Australia. He was the #1 series in Australia. I forget what that was. I thought that was what you were talking about, but Highway.
There were people who worked for the government or something. But they both had like these cool trucks, and one of them turned into a helicopter. Like genuinely, like it was a truck.
That, like mass.
And it had a helicopter. But yeah, it wasn't like Transformers or anything. It was like a jet. It was like
you remember that? Right, I understand. Do you remember what was it? Mass, Mobile. Yeah. Remember it was a cartoon? Yeah. But it wasn't Mass.
You ever watch Fall Guy? Yes, I watched Fall Guy.
Fall Guy. Dude, man. Friggin', I tell you what. Like, everybody used to like Pamela Anderson. Freaking Heather Thomas was hotter than all those chicks.
Jodie.
I remember all my buddies had pictures of that Heather Thomas poster of her in a pink bikini. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
The one from Fall Guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a trip, man.
But again, the Fall Guy was moral. Do you mean he was
Yeah.
about and stuff? But do you mean the morality? They were. That's the point, though. They were always strong men who could get into a fight, who could drive, who could do everything else. They never killed anyone. They never like drew blood. Really, there was never like.
And there wasn't any gay shit. I was just talking to DK about that. The only gay shit was bosom buddies. Tom Hanks and the guy staying in the girls' hotel to get cheap rent. And all girls. It was called Bosom Buddies. Tom Hanks wearing freaking women's clothes. And that was an awful show. Awful. Shit, even back when like Good Time, like the show Good Times and like All in the Family is funny too, but I mean, I grew up in a Mormon family, so I didn't get to watch a lot of TV, but you know what I did get to do? I did get to lift the A-Team van by myself in Universal Studios. Like they had the van that you could go up under it and lift it up. Like I was like 10 years old, and they had like these hydraulics under it. As soon as you like lifted it up a little bit, like so, it looked like I was lifting the A-Team van. Yeah.
Oh, the end of that one.
Yeah, dude. You know what I liked? A-Team movie was pretty good. That was a good movie.
It was okay.
It was kind of silly. Flying the tank was kind of silly, but the dude that played the copter pilot, he was good, and I like Liam Neeson, man. I just like him in it. You know, I just thought it was a pretty good movie.
It wasn't bad. I mean, the same with the Dukes of Hazzard movie. I mean, it was all right, but there's
that was Johnny Knoxville, wasn't it? That was Jackass. Yeah.
I didn't like being Boss Hog, and I didn't like the policeman, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Do you mean
Roscoe P. Coltrane? Who played Roscoe P. Coltrane?
James Best.
Oh, good Lord! I can't believe you know that. That's hilarious, dude. Like, how many times have you seen? I'm gonna watch Hooper soon. How many times have you seen The Mechanic?
The Mechanic. Not
Jan. Well, I thought you might have said because Jan Michael Vincent's in it.
No, but I haven't got it. I haven't got it on DVD or anything. I think I used to have it on video. Like record.
Yeah, I like Charles Bronson. I mean, he was cool. I was a big Steve Seagal. I still like Steve Seagal. Still like him. You know, mainly because he's really good at firearms and you know, all the bone breaking was cool. But somebody freaking did an IG post about Steve Seagal lately. It was kind of funny. You know, him walking out, throwing guys around. Like, Aikido's pretty cool. I wish I freaking learned that shit. Did you ever do any kung fu shit?
Yeah, I used to karate. I was a brown belt second dan.
Jeez,
that's like
good.
1 month.
That's almost black. That's good.
Yeah, it's one off.
That ain't just kata. That ain't just kata.
Kata,
you know, I learned kata. I learned kata with people and stuff. I was a gymnast, and my gymnastics teacher taught Bondo.
Right.
And I used to see him like blowing pins and throwing knives and shit. Meanwhile, I was over on the balance beam with the girls.
Yeah.
You know, doing the balance beam, cracking my nuts. And but I was a strong little kid, you know. I freaking I had boys from my freaking neighborhood come over and they'd be like, "Look at Brett in there with all the girls," you know, like nanny, like making fun of me. And the guy taught Bondo, John Collins, a badass. He used to train Doberman pinchers in German and shit. He's like, he sees these kids like making fun of me, and and he goes over and grabs one, like this, and like lifts him up off the ground. He's like, "You want to come in and have a pull-ups contest with Brett?" And so they come in, and like all the kids, dude, not one of them did. Like one of them did two. I did 27, and like John was just like giggling at these kids, and like it was.
And then I've lost your sound.
Yeah, well, there's somebody tried to call me. That's all. You can still hear me, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, friggin' gymnastics. That was a good thing for a kid. I like Walter's in it, so like he's talking about backflips and stuff. It's cool. Like I could do a bunch of back handsprings and a backflip.
There used to be a couple of people in our school who could do it, and I always wanted to try it. I just never had the nerve to like throw myself back.
It's you got to get spotted when you're first learning it. You got to get spotted. Yeah. I could do a standing front flip, standing back flip. I was really good on trampoline. Never learned like rings or palm horse. I just did a lot of trampoline and like just regular floor.
Yeah.
I could never do like an aerial. I could do like a back layout, but I could never do splits. I could never do like a full split, Not like I could never do a Jean-Claude Van Damme split.
Yeah,
like the Jean-Claude Van Damme split, like didn't that get the bitches? Dude, Jean-Claude Van Damme used to be funny. Like Jean-Claude Van Damme movies were funny, man.
So you were brought up in a Mormon house, were you?
Yeah.
So how does that work then? Are you like, once you get old enough, can you just move?
Well, when I was 15, Dad messed around on Mom, so they wanted her to testify against him to get him excommunicated, and she wouldn't do it. So, like, all the ladies at church that were like, she made quilts with him. She was really tight with him. We'd all go playing with kids. And they just started, like, talking on her back like she did something wrong, Like, it was my dad. The bitches act like, oh, well, what did you do wrong? Like, my mom was freaking perfect, Not perfect, but, she was awesome, And, like, after that shit, like, we just left.
Right.
I mean, I got a soft spot for Mormons, though. Like, we canned my whole childhood. I chopped firewood my whole childhood. Garden.
Oh, it's a better example, isn't it, than a lot of people have? I mean, it's certainly kind of...
Yeah, like, growing up in a Mormon family's... It's pretty based. I mean, just forget the Joe Smith thing, but as far as like the family, and just always being, preparing for disasters. Yeah. Mormons are on point, man. Like when Katrina happened, like the people that didn't have any food, they were like the Mormons came through. Like 2 weeks before, like the first
things from the
FEMA, like Red Cross, like they were like the Mormon, like you hear families like, I'm not Mormon, but the Mormons saved our ass. Like guy came down, like opened up the warehouse, got everything just, So
you're not tempted to go back and become a Mormon again, or?
Nah. No, like I don't have anything against the Mormons, but 3 levels of heaven, and if you got divorced and you're a woman and you got divorced, you can't go to the top level of heaven, but the man who got divorced can go to the top level of heaven.
Right.
Which actually maybe I should join.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. It's silly. It's nonsense, but who knows?
I got a buddy that
all those types of things are nonsense, aren't they? When they start talking, because it goes back to making claims. Do you know what I mean? When someone says you can go to heaven because, or you can't go to heaven because, that's just nonsense. And do you know what I mean that's no different to Scientology or you know any other ridiculous thing?
Yeah.
But the actual day to day, like you said, kids chopping wood and being prepared and looking after yourself and being able to cope and stuff, all that's great stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, and no drinking, no caffeine, no nicotine. Like, come on, like.
Yeah.
You're like.
That's what I mean. It's
right there.
Go down the kind of, you get to go into heaven and you don't route.
Oh, that's silly. Like, dude, I got my buddy Dave. Like, I told him his girl was over here helping me do the little garden part, and dude, he's always like, like I told him like, well, it does, dude. The word hell doesn't even show up in the Bible. He's like, oh no, you don't believe in hell? I'm like, I didn't say that. He'd be like, well, when I'm looking down from the pearly gates and you're not in, and I'm like, oh, so now you're the one you're up there with St. Pete, like telling me, Brett, don't let Brett in. I'm like, dude, would it be so bad if hell didn't exist? Like who wants to think about? Well, maybe pedos need to have their freaking skin ripped off daily for the rest of their freaking eternity, but like. Come on, like who's gonna for eternity, for the rest of freaking like time forever? You're gonna get your skin ripped off daily? Like I don't even know. Like what's up with that? Like
maybe it goes back at night and then they rip it off again.
Yeah, like you pray to a God that's gonna do that, and they're like, I don't know, like, dude, I don't know. Like, I know some people will be like, oh, no, Bearapalegic is friggin' crazy. He's off his rocker. He doesn't think there's hell. Like, I don't know. I never, actually, I have been there. I've been, Baltimore City is probably, like, really close.
Those people, they're always the ones who are getting into heaven. Do you know what I mean? They're never like, I know I'm going to hell, but I still believe in God. Do you know what I mean? They're always... in their minds, they're always obviously I'm going into heaven. Do you know what I mean? Do you want to join me? I'll judge if you can join me or not in heaven. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, they're never...
And my buddy listens to these like radio guys, and he's like, oh, they've been studying the Bible for freaking their whole lives. Like they know the Bible better than anybody. And I'm like, but they learn from people the Grabbler way. Like, dude, there's no way. These are the guys, they're not going to tell you that, I don't know. It's the same way, like the Catholic Church, like, I don't know, something about worship me from a house of God, like the Catholics changed that from, I'm paraphrasing, throw a stone and worship me there. Something about the freaking Dead Sea Scrolls said that. Obviously, I'm not really good at this, but... yeah, like two people get together and that's supposedly church, right? So, like, why would you have... it's because they're trying to get you into tithe, And I don't know, the same way...
no, it's all I mean, even like people have the King James version and stuff, which makes no sense to me. Why would you want a version done by a king? Do you mean
it's creepy, dude. I thought that Muslims were like, I thought they all wanted 72 versions. Like that was a spell. Everybody knows what the Trinity is. It's Ira, Helen Keller, and Bearapalegic from freaking Carl Brown.
So have you sold any coffee outside of theirs? Do you mean, have you like...
oh, yeah, quite a bit. Like, not a ton, though. The thing is, I won't sell to anybody, like, if I hear they think we went to the moon, or they wear a mask, I'm like, lose my number. That's why they're like, well, what's your website? And I'm like, my website? Are you kidding me? I'm like, have you seen my... see the Nicaraguan bike thief label? Like, dude, you know, when I sent this to BB, I don't even think he noticed the way, you know, that Nicaraguan was spelled with the N, you know, the N word.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't even think he noticed that. But you know, BB's always like, he wouldn't sell shit without me. And like, dude, you know what? All of my coffee is a tribute to that big dumb oafs comedy. You know, it is, you know, like, dude, the bike thief is him. The Trinity, I wouldn't have thought about it without him. Helen Keller didn't think about that. So he's like, why don't you clip another one of my jokes and make another coffee bear? You know, in a way, he's right, you know, but it's a tribute to the big dumb partially retarded Bard King's comedy. Like, literally. Like, think about in 100 years when the Bears are like, I don't know, we got like, I don't know, like once we move into Canada, we'll probably take over Canada.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
And then, like, dude, it's really nice up there, except it's too cold. But, you know, we'll have like a big area, and there'll be like this like leather-bound book that tells like the history of the Bears, and like everybody will talk about how Bearapalegic stole all of Owen's comedy to make freaking coffee labels.
Are you going to have an advert in this book, in this leather-bound book?
Dude, we need to do it. We need to have like the history, like the stupid funny stuff. Like, nobody thinks about this stuff. You know, there'll be videos and stuff, but you need books. I heard a girl talking about the oldest cemetery in Maryland, how they got video. These people just came in one night and are smashing these like 16, you know, these headstones from the 1600s. Big, long, tall, like big, long epitaphs of, and she said it reminds her of, she said, the way the Amish speak to each other when they're alone.
Right.
German Gaelic. I don't know if that makes any sense, but she's like, it's this whole long thing. She says, like, kids aren't in there like, oh, you know, we're going to spray paint. No, they're smashing these old, they're erasing history. They're smashing these things into little pieces. And dude, I'd like to hear who the hell's doing that. Who was given that order? That's what I'd like to know. I mean,
yeah, it's like a random thing to do. But it's funny you say that. I've noticed there's when I go watching the football, where I park the car, I have to walk through this. It's a big cemetery in Liverpool. It's like one of the main cemeteries in Liverpool, so it's filled, and that goes back hundreds of years. And I've noticed a lot more sort of gravestones knocked over, smashed, and stuff like that.
All right, well, in this video I was watching, the girl said, she goes, you know what? I used to take pictures in this New York cemetery, and she said, I went through there 3 years ago, and she goes, all these old things have been replaced. And she goes, because we used to go through there all the time. Like, she was like a photographer or something. She said all the old shit had been replaced. Like, dude, you're talking about like what, 400-year-old headstones? Like this, that's like history, dude. That's like real history. When you talk about resets, that's what they got to do.
Yeah,
I think that's what a lot of Civil War is about. You send all the Civil War guys through. They're killing the Indian tribes while they're freaking blowing up like Tartarian freaking, you know, like, I don't know. That's a whole nother stream. It's getting kind of late. I probably should go. I don't want to be the one guy that stays on the hanging with bears for 4 hours.
No worries. It's 25 to 3 you're here.
Gosh, is that late there?
Right, before you go, if anyone's got any questions, if you want to either stick them in the chat or press the question mark thing or whatever.
I'm sorry, I haven't paid attention to the chat, guys. I'm sure all the people I love are here. I saw I saw Robert. I saw my sister. I see Flat Moon Bear. I saw Hi King. Tammy's here. Hi King and Tammy. Second Acres here. All my freaking Bearapalegic coffee family.
So when are you starting?
Except for you, Robert. Send me your address. I'll get you some coffee, Robert.
Yeah, when are you going to start making tea?
Dude, you know what? I'm going to have to send you some of that tea I got out west. It's like a black whole leaf, Darjeeling something. And then I got Himalayan rose. My buddy that I get coffee from in Washington used to be a tea guy.
Right.
Dude, like, I wanted to sell CUNT so bad, and my girlfriend's like, I'll break up with you if you sell CUNT. I'm like, come on, honey, it's funny. She goes, no, it's not. I said, a little bit. It's a little funny, isn't it? She goes, no, it's not. She goes, I'll break up with you. I was just like...
I said, what's your favorite coffee brand? Coffee flavor, sorry.
Flavor?
Yeah, what's your favorite coffee flavor?
Wait, no, not a flavor. I think one of my girlfriend's favorites. It's a 48-hour Colombian. It's called a fermented bean. They leave it out in the sun for 48 hours, and the fruit sort of rots. They say it ferments, but it just sun dries. That's a really good one. And Nicaraguan El Queso is one of my. A lot of Nicaraguan is really good. Yirgacheffe, I pretty much put Yirgacheffe in everything.
Right.
Like in most of my blends, Yirgacheffe is an amazing coffee. It comes from Ethiopia, which is it's just amazing. I don't know how. At least the one that I get is amazing. But there's a lot of good coffees from everywhere. Definitely Costa Rica. Costa Rica has got some amazing coffee, especially this new anaerobic. Anaerobic coffee, like people say it tastes like blueberries. It's like insane when they drink it black. Like, and I don't even drink coffee black.
Right. Rose asking, have you got any Papua New Guinea?
Yeah. Papua New Guinea is part of the Nicaraguan bike leaf blend.
Provider Bear asking, do you make a breakfast blend?
Oh my gosh, isn't that hilarious? That was my very first coffee.
Everybody puts a couple good beans.
That was Bearapalegic breakfast blend. The very first one. I just don't sell a lot of it because it's not hilarious, but it's really good. It's basically just breakfast blend, but it's actually two beans. You'd think a blend was more than two beans. But the Trinity, like, just make sure nobody gets me for false advertising. This has two beans, even though it says 100% of three beans.
Or maybe the other one's a Holy Ghost and you just can't taste it.
Yeah, there you go. It's just it's the thought. Dude, I make that joke to people all the time.
Breakfast blend. So for people who want to order off you, just DM you.
Yeah, just my numbers everywhere. As BB says, Jesus, Bearapalegic, you put your number right on the label. Jesus, Bearapalegic. Dude, look at this. Look what I got out. I'm going to be writing Owen a letter soon. He better be nice to me. Look what I got out for him. A 1969 50-cent piece.
All right.
The year we went to the moon set. Mm-hmm. Hey, Rhino, what's up, man? Rhino joined. Rhino is one of my favorite people. The moon set, and look what I got out for Jack. Ellen will be like, Bearapalegic cheap bastard. I freaking gave Charlie and Walter bear coins and Owen It's probably in his big bag of silver. He doesn't even remember. So I got, this is a wolf, and it's going to be funny because it's a Canadian wolf. This little thing, it's as big as a quarter, and it's supposedly worth $20 in Canada, which he'll laugh. He might.
Is it worth anything in America?
Oh, well, it's worth the silver. I mean, it will be, I don't know if you can call it mint state. It's still in the package. This is from 2013. These came out in 2013. And hopefully Owen doesn't watch it. Now I'm not going to send it to him. If he's not nice to me, I'm going to freaking keep it. He says any more bad things about Nah, sorry, dude. If I literally, dude, like, I can't believe Polyunsaturated was like, after you made fun of Bearapalegic Bear, she was like, did she really write him a letter about me?
I don't know what she wrote him a letter, but I know she was
a message.
White knighting for you.
Right. I've sent Polly a freaking bag of coffee. That's why she did it. No, I don't even know her. I think my girlfriend used to watch her like years ago.
We had a spell of watching it when I was trying to get my wife into kind of more truthy stuff.
Right. So she's like one of the mains, you know, like, oh, you're going more conservative. Yeah. She's one of the first people you find. Yeah.
It soon got a bit kind of samey, and it was just whinging. It was just, you know, and every week she'd sort of come on and whinge about what the left were doing, and then, you know, that was it. So you don't want to watch that for 20 minutes, half an hour every day.
Well, Mountain Bear, I'm still waiting for Mountain Bear to do a cartoon of me jousting the little freaking pedo in the electric wheelchair.
He needs to do that. He's being pulled with Owen on one side and Polly on the other. Like both sides.
Oh, God. I don't give a shit about Polly. Like, everybody knows where my allegiance lies with the big retard.
Huh.
Everybody's just scared of him. Like, dude, everybody waited in line to take their picture. I think even High King Bear waited in that long line, High King, you little fag. Dude, I just sat there like, I'm not getting in your gay little line, you know? So I waited until he was done. But then I had to yell. I was like, hey, BB. He's like just ignoring me like a dick. Maybe he just didn't hear me. He was really tired. He looked really exhausted, but I shook his hand, and he was tired. I think he was a little bit stressed because it was his first show. That was his first show, and it hadn't been too long since he quit drinking either. So I think he was worried about, like, am I going to be able to perform if I'm not, you know, drinking? Which I think it was more like, that was like, yeah, it was a good show. I think it was like his, the other ones were a little bit more, you know, he was sort of feeling it out, but it was a good show, man. Like, I got to meet Ryan, you know, got to meet H-Bug, got to meet some other people. Got to meet Breaking Bear. Yeah, he moved his Harley so I could park my wheelchair van. But dude, like, it was like right in the middle of Portland. Like, there's just tents up and down the street, homeless. Like, there's whole streets full of tents, man. It's crazy. Like,
again, that started to happen over here. That was something we rarely saw, but it's very, very common now. Outside all the shops, all the supermarkets. I mean, it's everywhere.
You know, in the colder climates, it's not as prevalent, but Baltimore, like, when I ride through Baltimore, I freaking, like, on my IG videos, you'll see me, like, taking pictures, or, you know, like, putting the camera on the like right in the median strip. In the median strip, literally, it's like maybe 16 feet wide, but it's like a high hump.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good place to like not get stuck in a puddle.
Mm.
So I think they like putting it there, and that's where they bum money right there, like at the lights.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's like they fight over the hot spots, you know.
Well, I saw it when I was last time I was in America, because we used to go to California like at once every like 18 months, 2 years, something like that. We'd go over to California for a few weeks. And the last time I went, there was homeless everywhere, but they were all on like on the, you call them off ramps, I think, on ramps and off ramps. We call them slit roads onto the freeways, right in the center of LA. So as the freeway goes through, you've got skyscrapers, banks, you know, all the really sort of nice part of LA. But on the slit road going down to the freeway, there's just tents all the way down, like right next to and. They
weren't. I bet you they weren't in the rich neighborhoods. They're not in Beverly Hills.
They weren't in the neighborhoods. They were right in the center of the city. That was the thing. Do you mean so? How are these?
Well, and the city's supposedly really nice, but that's what they talk about. Like, dude, there's that story I heard about the guy who got his van stolen, and 3 months later they find it, and a bum has been living in it, parked. Mm-hmm. And somehow got himself a lawyer, and he's been in there for like more than 90 days. So he just established his residency and the parking spot. Like, the city doesn't tell him. They're like, you can't have your van back. He now owns it because he freaking lived in it for a certain amount. I'm just like, I'd have lost my shit if that was my van. I'd have burned it. I'd have freaking lit it on fire before I let somebody. Well, actually, that's kind of mean. Maybe I don't know, dude. Like, I'd be pissed. I'd probably pay. Well, after a homeless guy lived in it for 3 months, dude, you'd have to get it cleaned. Like, I just can't believe the shit that goes on. You know, it's insane.
But that's like I say that. It's very recent that's happened over here, and you have to try. We're pretty close to being like a socialist government or a socialist place, so you have to try really hard to be homeless in England. I mean, everything is given to you.
Right,
you
like
free houses, free food, free. You have to try really, really hard. So how have these people all of a sudden become homeless? It doesn't make any sense.
Dude, America's crazy. Like, you've got people that get public, like Section 8 housing, that literally make like my one lady friend who's black. Mm-hmm. Her daughter brings home like $2,500 twice a month before taxes. Probably bringing home, let's say, $3,500 a month, like after taxes.
Yeah.
She's in Section 8 housing and gets food stamps somehow. I have no idea. Her other daughter had 2 sons that like were on like Adderall and all this stuff. She was getting like Social Security checks for both of them, living in Section 8 housing, paying nothing, mm-hmm. and like renting out rooms to people, getting money for that, and getting like $1,200 in food stamps a month. Like, this girl was rich. Mm-hmm. I mean, not rich, you know what I mean? Just like, dude, like $4,000 in like free stuff coming in, like double what my freaking disability. It's crazy, man.
You can get so much for free over here. I mean, even like cars and stuff, there'll be an American equivalent, but ours is called Motability. So it's for disabled people, and you basically get a car. And you run it for 3 years, and then, or you either get a car, or you can get money from the government and go and buy your own car or whatever. But everything basically qualifies as a disability. Alcoholism is a disability. So you can,
dude, the people that take my handicap spots, dude, like most of the time, like people talks about me getting the best handicap spots. A lot of the time I will park out in the lot where nobody's parked, so that nobody parks close to my thing. Like the only time I use a handicap spot is if I can park in such a way that the ramp comes out and there's nobody can park next to me. You know, and I would give it up for a pregnant lady, you know, but dude, like yesterday I was going to my doctor's and like there was no spots, not even regular ones. So what I did was somebody left out of a regular one. I like stuck my nose in and just left like the side like sticking out enough to just let the ramp out. I was just like, nobody's gonna tow me. But I didn't get towed. But man, like my doctor's a retard. He did buy some coffee though. He was like, I can't believe you got a business. Like they're all wearing masks. I'm like, I'm not wearing a mask, you know. He's like, did you get your vaccine? I'm like, are you freaking out of your mind? Do you know how many people are dying from that crap? You know, I'm like, you know, nobody's wearing. I said, you know, nobody's wearing them in England or Ireland anymore. You know, they rolled back all those mandates. And I said, besides, I got a psychiatrist note not to wear one. I went and got one from my psychologist just because the girl at Home Depot pissed me off so bad, saying I couldn't shop there, and I need to be able to go to Home Depot. I'm like a Home Depot addict, and I was just like, I want to be able to be like, F you, you know, like, so the next time I was in there, I was like, so I got a note now. I was like, so do you think they're giving out notes for me to be a mass murderer? I could just blow freaking like Holocaust cuties all over everybody and kill everybody. I said, do you think psychologists are giving out those kind of notes? I'm like, or it's all nonsense. Like, seriously. I tell everybody, I'm like, if this shit was real, everybody would have a Dustin Hoffman spider monkey outbreak suit on. You'd be on your porch with a 12 gauge and you'd be like, don't come near my family. Or I'm going to blow your freaking head off. I'm like, dude, that's what it would be like if it was real. Am I right?
No, everything would be ramped up to 11. Do you know what I mean? The way the government would be dealing with you and all that. I mean, as much as people say, you know, they're being oppressed and stuff, it would be way worse if it was real.
You would never go out. You wouldn't get on an airplane. You wouldn't go shopping. You'd get everything delivered. And I don't know, like, what would you have? Like freaking ropes with pulleys going to your front door, like.
People would be sealing up the air in the house, and so do you mean if there was a genuine thing going on? Do you mean?
Halloween. They had freaking ladies putting up PVC pipes from their front door. You know, like the kids come up, you know, grab the walkie-talkie, over, trick or treat. Send the candy, you know, like send it down the PVC pipes, you know, or I'm like, no, that's terrible because then you're handling candy. Like, no, you did it all wrong. Trick or treat. They're the freaking over trick or treat. It's just so dumb. It's hilarious. Well, it said, no, you're doing it all wrong on the news. Like, you need to stick out candy on sticks, sterilize it, stick it in the front lawn, and they come up. And then you yell with your bullhorn, take one, please. Like, dude, man, this is it's a freaking, it's a Saturday Night Live skit. Like, it'd be the funniest thing ever. Like,
we'll go with the AIDS back now, though.
Dude, BB did that freaking the AIDS commercial. Dude, I was laughing when that thing first came out. I'm like, look at this guy. And then as soon as they were like side effects, diarrhea, I'm like, oh my Lord, this is classic. I was like,
I was saying to a few people the other day that for no reason at all, the TV over here, there was 2 documentaries on the other day about AIDS, right? For no reason. They've been advertised for like 2 weeks, and then but there's no kind of like. Well, to me anyway, it came out the blue. then for the following week, all I'm reading and all I'm seeing is HIV, 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 HIV.
Yeah.
So it's obviously something. But these documentaries must have been made months ago. Do you know what I mean? You can't just make a documentary overnight.
Dude, AIDS in the freaking 80s. I remember when that movie with like Alan Alda, like how AIDS jumped from freaking Africa to here with the airline pilot, and they traced it all back, and the brown spots on the face and all that bullshit. Like, I remember like in that movie, they were like, oh, well, if you come up positive for Hep B, well, then you got AIDS. And like, can you imagine? You come up positive for Hep B, and they're like, you need AZT. Like, dude, you're not feeling bad or nothing. And so you start taking AZT, all of a sudden you get these brown spots on your face. You're like, fuck. Like, this sucks. AIDS sucks. Dude.
So they brought AIDS back. They brought Russia being bad and attacking Ukraine back. So we need other things. Hopefully they bring the 18 back and stuff, and then we can be happy.
Dude, oh my gosh, we didn't even get to me jumping my bike. Did you see my message to you?
Yeah.
Don't discuss the yeah. You know I was lying though, right? About missing and crushing the black kids. I would never miss if I jumped my BMX over the neighborhood girls. I would never miss. I would always jump at least 10 times, and I would jump 8 pillows. You know, pillows are as big as people. I would clear it every time. You know, unless you had like a horrible, like I was telling him in my little story, like, oh my gosh, the chain broke. I'm committed. Like, yeah, like smash, bang, like kids in the hospital. Paraplegic, freaking crushed all the girls. Like, nah, I cleared them every time. I probably jumped them probably like 6, 7 different times. I was a young kid too. I wasn't 12 or like old. I was like 10.
I used to love jumping on a bike. You going through the woods and like you could use tree roots. As soon as you got some air off a tree root.
We had this place called Uncle Sam's. It was down by the cemetery. It was a V hill. One side was 60 feet down, just almost straight down. The other side was about 30 feet up. Right. So you'd go flying down. You'd come up. I remember one time when I landed, my foot slipped off the freaking pedal. I was rolling around the ground for like 20 minutes. I had freaking hit my nuts so hard, I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital. My buddies used to jump up there and do like tabletops, like 360 tabletops. I mean, you could have done back flips out of that thing. Guys used to take their YZ 125s and jump it backwards, like up the tall hill. But dude, it was crazy. There was these boys called runners. Like, I was like 14, 15. These boys called runners. They'd be like, look out, runners. And we'd have to freaking like pedal out. There's these like, you know, like 18-year-old kids. They come down there and like try to like take like young kids like our bikes.
Yeah. Right,
and it'd be like, you know, they were just too big. You had to be quicker than them.
Yeah.
And dude, like, I remember that shit. Like, and I had a red line. Then. I didn't have just a shitty Rampar. You know, like the Rampar I was jumping the girls with, that was a Sears bike. Right. That's like a Walmart bike. You know, like probably I got it for Christmas. I remember it was snowing. My brother got a little tiny one, and I got a full size, like, you know, 20-inch frame.
You were always crap them though. The frames used to break, like the cheaper bikes. You know, when you landed.
I remember the ones that didn't have goosenecks. Remember that shit? Just like a little crappy thing. Wasn't even a gooseneck. It would just like fold.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember this one kid had a steering wheel for a freaking handlebars. I thought that was the coolest shit I'd ever seen.
That is the coolest shit ever.
It is, right?
Did you have the motorbike helmet? And what was it like with the chin bit there and the goggles?
Right.
I had one of those.
Dude, I mean, when I got my red line was like $450. My old man bought it for me. And he didn't buy me a lot. Like, he bought me really nice sports stuff. He wouldn't spend money on clothes or electronics. Like, I did have an Atari 1600. It was like the worst gaming system ever. Like, Pong was better than Atari 1600. And like, I had a nice skateboard. I had decent skateboards, but when I finally started skating like bowl and stuff when I was like 8. He got me a nice Logan ski, like pure juice wheels and stuff, and then a Sims board and then that nice red line board. That red line was nice. Like, that was nicer than. I was only like 2 guys that had a bike nicer than me. I had one buddy who worked his ass off, and he had a PK Ripper. You remember PK Rippers?
I don't think we had them over here.
Yeah, I think G&S bought them. A company called G&S bought them. But that was like the lightest frame, like way better than a Mongoose, like better than a Hutch, like Redline was the shit. PK Ripper was like a little bit better. I had a Pro Line too. It was like the 22-inch frame. It was a little bit bigger. Redline Flying V handlebars. Oh no, are you gonna bring me a bike?
No, I'm just gonna shut the back door.
Hey, Jason, why'd you bring me my skateboard truck? It's in the under the gotta be in the trophy case. In the trophy case, where all my baseball trophies are. Nobody wants to see my skateboard trucks, except for skateboarders. High King, actually, High King's probably seen the picture of it. High King used to skateboard. High King used to do all the crap I did, except I wasn't in a band. I wasn't a freaking drummer that all the chicks wanted. Well, actually, all the chicks wanted me, but I wasn't a drummer.
Right, apologies, I'm back now.
Oh, it's okay. I thought you were gonna go get your bike.
No,
you're gonna go show me like an old ass bike.
No, the wind had blown the back door, but it's obviously like 3 o'clock in the morning here. So all I could hear was like the back door open, and then like things starting to move. So, I'm being robbed. But no, it was just.
Where are you at again?
North England, Northwest England.
Northwest England. How far are you from like Belfast? Is that really far?
Well, yeah.
Is that a different island? Yeah. Ireland's a different island, right?
Yeah. So you got England, Scotland, Wales is on one island, and then Ireland is on a different island.
See, I can't believe I don't know I don't know geography that good over there. And the only reason I know that Ireland's different is from freaking Braveheart. How terrible is that?
Yeah, well, that's Scotland Braveheart.
Oh, is that what he says? It's mine?
Yeah, the Braveheart is like Scotland versus England. That's like the old.
Yeah, but it's. Well, wait, why does he say the island? It's mine.
It's really just the Isle of Scotland or whatever.
So it's not. So Scotland isn't different. It's Scotland, Wales, and England all on the same piece of land. So like I'm pretty retarded. Have you ever seen the Isle of Man? I hear you can see the Isle of Man across the.
Yeah, it's not far from. Like. If you look at it on a map, it's kind of like 9:30 to me.
The flat earthers talk about seeing it across the channel.
Yeah, I think yeah, well, it's up. You've got the Isle of Wight and Jersey at the bottom, but then the Isle of Man is like up towards like North England, so it's up by where I am. But yeah, on a clear day, if you went to the coast, you'd be able to see it.
Yeah, and they say you can see some land that's even behind it by like another 40 miles or some shit on certain.
Yeah.
Keeper of the mountains in here.
Whenever you're looking at warp, it's difficult because you do get different atmosphere.
Yeah, that's what the idiot ballers will be like. Refraction.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's lifting itself up. It's lifting up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's showing itself perfectly without going, ooh. Dude, it's so dumb. We can't get on that. Well, I'm going to go.
Okie doke. Well,
dude, thanks for inviting me, man. I mean, Green Thumb Bear's on like 3 times a week. He's been on like 666 times for every time I've been on.
He's on
Is
Instagram.
Green Thumb on tomorrow night?
No, he's having a break from Instagram.
Dude, I know he's going to be on tomorrow. He's on like 3 times a week, no matter what. Dude, I'm going to have to call him and make fun of his skinny little freaking ankles, little bastard. Why is he taking a break?
I don't know. Maybe he got tempted and was going to get hacked.
All right, we're going to have to make fun of him like Robear. To make fun of him like Robear for taking a break, Robear. That's all right, dude. I could do for a break. I need to get some rest. Dude, I'm telling you, like some days I'm just like, I think I'm going to try putting my phone in the van because people say you sleep better if your phone's like not near you.
You're not supposed to have your phone near you.
It's gotta be true, right? But like, I'm worried about like somebody calling me for like an emergency or something. Like, dude, like what did we do when we were kids? Like literally like, Ma, I'll be home later. Like, dude, I would go out all day. I would leave at like 9 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I would ride my bike all day in the woods at this one place where we had jumps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, dude, I was 14 and we would hike with backpacks on down to the state park and spend the night at the top of a hill, not at a camping area, in the top of a hill, purposely because the park rangers were too much. They wouldn't climb up this steep spot, and we could sit up there and smoke weed without getting in trouble. But yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of sad that kids can't do that shit, you know? Well, actually, I guess they could, but.
Well, the parents, it's not the kids, really. The parents are the ones stopping them. Do you mean the kids that aren't? They are when they're young, the parents stop them, and then when they get to sort of teenagers, they'd rather not because they'd rather be on the computers.
Like, what was different when we were kids? I used to ride my bike all the way up Catonsville at 8, and that was like 3 miles. You know, I'd walk to school at 8. Yeah. Like now they're like, oh no, that's you somebody will get you in a van. Like, is that true? You think that's any more true today than it was? You think there's any more pedos now than there was when we were little?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is,
I don't know.
I mean, no, there might be more. I don't think there's more, but there's certainly more access for them because of the internet and stuff.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't want, like, if my niece was 8, I wouldn't want her walking to school more than a mile, you know?
That's the thing, isn't it? So
isn't that screwed up? Like, what the hell? You know what it was? Our parents just didn't love us. That's the secret. Our parents are just like, you know, my dad and mother were probably like, well, we got friggin' 6 kids, so if we lose one, it's not that big.
Gonna replace.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. All right, buddy.
All right,
dude. Call me anytime, man.
Yeah, and let me know when you get that team.
All you other homos better get some coffee. Rhino's crushing. I gotta get him and Winky Bear are like I don't know. They're kind of like my idols. I'm a little bit jealous. Like, Ryan is on this freaking, like, dude, he's like, it's not every day you find out you're, what the hell did he call himself? Like, what's a kid that, like, is really good at everything?
Like a prodigy.
Yeah, he's like, it's not every day you find out you're a protege or some shit like that. And I was just like laughing, like, but he's not freaking lying. Like, he's not, dude, he's playing piano. Like, they told him he was going to die. And he's like, nah, my heart's fine. It's healed now. It's healed now. You know, I don't need your freaking stents or any of your nonsense. I mean, that's the smartest thing you could ever done, though. But, oh, and everybody order some coffee, and you just might get a Starcuck sticker. You just might get one if you're special enough.
So yeah, anyone who wants your coffee, DM you, Instagram. Times.
I suck at the end. Look, man, it's easy to get my number.
Okay.
Just don't freaking mess with me. Dude, I know the person who hacked me probably hates Owen. And I don't know. It's the same guy that called me the foul-mouthed paralyzed bear on Reddit.
Right.
Dude, like they actually said if I give him $200, like I can have my website back. Dude, that's pretty funny. It's kind of funny. It was my own dumb fault, you know. Don't ever think that your friend needs to get into their Instagram account. Oh my gosh, dude. Be telling that stupid story forever. All right, buddy.
All right, cheers, fella.
All right, man. I'll see you, bro.
Yeah, take care. Okie doke. Yeah, sorry I had to jump out. I did think we were being attacked by many bike thieves, but that was just the wind. We've got a weather warning and stuff here at the moment, so it's quite windy. But yeah, I hadn't closed the back door properly, so I'd have blown that open. But all good. No one's here to try and hurt me. Next week I'm on with Holy Quail Bear, so hopefully third time's lucky this works, because the first time he had to cancel last minute. Second time there was I can't remember why the stream never kind of happened. So yeah, hopefully it'll be on next week. I'll be on slightly earlier, 7 Eastern, so that'll be midnight for me, so that's a bit better. So yeah, have a great weekend, everybody, and take care, and I shall see you next week.